The conclusion were that we have to think in new ways of how to mobilize funds, and that we can, in order to find an answer how we can do that, we can look what our claim says. Our claim says supporting citizens fighting corruption, so we are obviously looking at bottom-up approaches. And I think we can apply the same strategy when it comes to fundraising. Why not looking to people, obviously not the ones which are affected and the victims of corruption, but in this case, maybe still people who are at the bottom, who are doing the work at the bottom and seeing the problems that are around there, which might have the little resources. And as we know, mostly these are the people who are, have the empathy and know how people are suffering from that problem. And if they can be part of the solution, then we can even extend our approach and not only have supporting citizens fighting corruption, but also supporting it funded by citizens. Nowadays there is a community which came up with an idea, and it's called crowdfunding. This is then an idea of looking for money in many different corners on the grassroots level, without actually knowing the people, without having a certain centralized source which you have to apply to, but you rather have an idea which sounds convincing and which you can, thanks to good communication measures, you can bring that message out there, and there are people, if through that message they might really feel connected to the topic, to the idea, etc., and be mobilized to even grant a little money to that. But if we have a lot of people, you know, who might be addressed in that way successfully, then we might become financially also independent, more independent than we used to, and we can still take advantage of the sources that we had. But of course, having also this bottom-up and top-down approach when it comes to fundraising, I think will make us help with financial sustainability more, and we can even fund more projects and help more citizens fighting corruption in the end of the day. The interesting thing when we look at the anti-corruption movement is it started obviously with a lot of people retiring from their professional career and building up this whole great movement with Transparency International, with PTF, etc., etc. And then now we have a generation of people which are fed up with the world as it is, and they also see corruption as a big problem, and they are willing to tackle it from the very beginning on of their professional career. So I'm building my entire career based on the anti-corruption agenda somehow, and I think this is combined with the pragmatism that you find amongst those people who go into, like me, to consulting companies in the first as a first professional step, to learn the tools, to learn efficiency, etc., and the process improvement and all that useful tools. And then they move over to the civil society and get engaged in that field, will help to enhance and empower a lot of people in a very, hopefully in a very effective way. And I think this is also the hope that I have, that I can contribute to PTF, to have these new tools, these new ideas that we get from the corporate world, which is always, or not always, but which tends to be more innovative, which has to have lean cost structures, etc., and also apply this to our organization, because we are voluntarily driven. We have a voluntary a basis of voluntarily working people for us. So we have to see that we reduce the administrative costs as much as possible. But once we have set up all that lean administration and bureaucratic processes, I think this will allow us to work very efficiently when we are out there in the field and supporting the citizens that we actually want to do. Of course, if people have a steady job, it's always a matter of time, how much time they can mobilize, of course, for some voluntary extra work. It's an individual decision, of course, everybody has to take. I think PTF presents a lot of incentives, which makes it attractive. Also from a professional point of view, the network that you find within PTF is just amazing. And so this is definitely something which can be a pulling factor for taking people in, but of course we just won't have them to have this motivation. We want them to see the urgency of the work that we want to do and to join PTF for that. I could imagine, of course, freelancing consultants could be an interesting group working with us in their whole portfolio of projects. They might once in a while work maybe pro bono, maybe for a lower fee than they might get on the market, working for a company, whatever, working with us. Because I think they might like the people, they might like the atmosphere that they find working with us, the particular projects that we are engaged in. So I think this is something which might make PTF interesting as a partner, even for people who actually have to make a living out of it. The great thing is now that the internationalization of PTF is also taking place, this is not only opening up the organization to new regions and to new fundraising opportunities, but also to new cultures and new, obviously, generations and new kind of people. And these people bring in their own ideas, and they have ideas. And this is the great thing about PTF is open to listen to the people and to see how these ideas can be incorporated. And I think this is the great chance also for PTF now to take it to the next level and to adapt to the challenges, to the modern challenges that we are facing, and use innovative tools like the fundraising opportunities, but also use communications tools like the media, social media, etc., and YouTube videos also to show what they are doing and to point the fingers on the problems. And I think I'm very excited about the future that the PTF is facing and how PTF is going to address it. So I'm very happy to be a part of it, and it's a great privilege for me as well.